Welcome to Somatic Pilates for walkers. If you haven't done somatics before, it's all about what's going on in the body and being a little bit more in tune with the body. Obviously Pilates, we do a huge amount of that, but it's just taking it deeper. So let's get started. Taking the feet into a parallel position and really spread the toes lovely and wide. Hand on heart, hand on belly, and closing down the eyes. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth if that feels comfortable for you, or just finding a rhythm that suits you. Two more breaths here, just grounding into the space. How can you be 10% more relaxed right where you are? Can you soften the knees, the jaw? And then releasing the hands down by your sides. And we're just going to take a small practice to find our center. So we're just going to rock forwards and back, into the toes and back. And this can be really small and is a beautiful somatic practice because any kind of rocking, just like when we're a baby, is so regulating for the nervous system. Really nice, and you can do this with the eyes closed or open. If you need a bit of balance support, open those eyes. And then just softly finding center, finding that place in the foot that is your center point, and it might be really different from when you landed on the mat. And then you're going to go to the left and to the right. Again, this could be really small, whatever feels good for your body. And then coming back into center position. Brilliant. And I'm going to roll the shoulders back, because even though we're focused on walking, it is a full body exercise, and keep rolling your shoulders. But when we walk and we use our opposite arm and leg like this, the reason we do this is to use our obliques, to use our full center. And it's really important that, say we've come onto the mat with a little bit of shoulder tightness, I know a lot of us are on our phones or driving. We just need to open those shoulders. Gorgeous. One more. And then we're going to alternate, rolling forwards. Gorgeous. And then we're coming back to the rolling back position, but adding in those arms. Really taking up space. Doesn't matter what's happening too much with the rest of the body, but I don't want you to go into the back. Just letting the body move. Amazing. And then the other direction. And this surprisingly opens the arms. I'm recording this in the morning, so it's really nice to open the joints, but this is also really good at the end of the day to kind of close them down, lubricate them. Amazing. And then just letting them go, shaking off those arms. Again, this is another somatic practice, so it's really good at just letting go of the day. And then we're doing one more kind of neutral practice, and it's so important that we think about our pelvis when we're walking, our pelvic neutral. I've got a tendency to sort of stick my pelvis back, but we're going to move between those two, tipping the pelvis forward and back. And when we're walking, we really want this pelvis to be in our neutral position. So you could maybe be feeling this in the lower back, and really try and isolate the movement. It might be really super tiny. Gorgeous. And then finding that neutral position and kind of checking in, how does that feel in the body? What does that feel like? And can this be your new baseline? So even before next time you go on a walk, can you just as you get out of the car or before you start, check in with your pelvis, get a little bit of movement in that part of the body that can often feel quite stiff. Okay, amazing. We're going to come into some standing leg stretches. So these are ones that you can really take into before walking and after walking. So we're going to step onto our left leg. If you need a wall, please do get one. Don't worry, I wasn't about to touch the stove. But yeah, if you need a wall for balance, get one. I'm going to start with the right leg lifting up, coming behind us into our quad stretch. And you can see my knee is quite far away, so I'm drawing the knee close to the other one. And then just like we did earlier, I'm tucking that pelvis, sending that tailbone towards the floor. And this is super strengthening for the opposite leg. And every wobble is good. Every wobble is you building strength in your center and your muscles. So don't worry if you're having a wobble like me. Beautiful, holding that here. And as you can see, I've kind of gone a bit like this. So really, trying the best you can to stay in your parallel position. Lovely. And then very gently release the foot so that it comes through to center into this flex position, really standing into the left leg. And then we're going to open the knee. I had a gorgeous click then. This is such a nice feeling. Keep the foot flexed. Breathe into this. Release. Shake off the other leg that's worked really hard to stabilize us. Nice. And then we're coming into the other side. So gently sending that left leg back, catching it. If you have to open to catch it, don't worry. And then come back to center. Tuck that pelvis under. You might find one leg's tighter than the other. Completely okay. Really opening our quad. And then sending the foot back through, really gently letting go. With intention, using that right leg, flex the foot, open the hip. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here. And then releasing, big shake off of the other leg. Interestingly for me, my left leg found the balance work a lot harder, so that's just something I can take forward. Have I been standing and hitching in my right hip like a sassy little lady? Probably. So it's just feeling that balance and that difference. So next, before we come into a little bit more stretches, we're going to work on the feet. So you can do this on your mat or on the surface below you. You're just going to lift the right heel, then the left. I'll just show you without my flares. Really subtle. But I really like this feeling in my toes. It feels like a nice massage. So obviously our feet are really important as part of our walking. And we often just keep them flexed. But there's so much more range in our feet, so it's good to explore it and helps build strength. And then we're going to add to this, so lifting up, moving through. Gorgeous. And 4. Last one. And then we're going to come with our right foot, tuck the toe under, and then gently stretching the front line of the foot. This is such a powerful stretch for me. Feeling this maybe in the foot, maybe in the shin. And then release other side. And really finding that neutral on the supported leg. And then release one more time, just to deepen the stretch. We've told our nervous system this stretch is safe, so coming back for it for another one, you might get a little bit more depth. This one can be a little bit pain, but I kind of like it. And then other side. Amazing. And then we're coming to some calf stretches. So just stepping the right leg forward and back, and you might need to shuffle depending. and then bend into the back leg. Again, if you need any support, just grab it. The deeper you bend, the maybe the more depth of stretch you get. Really send the heel down. Weirdly, I'm getting a stretch in my shin. So it does just depend on your body on the day. Normally this is quite a strong calf stretch for me. This also feels quite strengthening as I hold myself in this position. And then stepping forward, back one more time. We'll do 2 on each. A little bit more calfy on my left side, but again, still in the shin, interestingly. Breathing into it, and then swapping sides. Nice. Again, think about your body, how you're holding your body, your shoulders, even in this stretch position. And then swapping sides. Amazing. And then I'm going to stay side on, just so you can see this. I'm going to do a few squats. So thinking of our neutral, just quickly checking in, finding that position. Our feet are in parallel, so hip bone width apart. And it's like you're sitting into a chair. So you're sitting back, coming forwards. So as we're going up Snowdon for our Mare and Foal track, our challenge, we really want to focus on the glutes because of going uphill. The only time we use glutes in walking is when we're going uphill. And I want you to take from this class, if you take one thing, a lot of my students have taken this, is think bum, bum, bum as you're walking up steps or uphill, and really take your mind to that part of your body. And this is really our somatic practice, taking our mind there. Coming down and then halfway up for 8. And really explore the range. Can you deepen the squat? Gorgeous. And 4. Last one, hold it down. We're going to hold this position for 8. Breathe into it. Good work. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into those heels. Shake off the feet. Gorgeous. We're then going to take our legs into our traditional squat position. So a little bit wider than your hips. And again, really taking that principle of sitting back into a chair. So this is your sort of cheat squat. I don't want to see that because it puts more pressure through the knees. We want to focus on the glutes. Nice, we've got 6 more. If you want to use the breath, breathing out as you push up. Gorgeous. And then we're going to go down, halfway up. Good. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. I'm right there with you. Glutes, hamstrings even. Could be feeling this. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Shake it off. Good. And then we're going to do our last standing exercise, which is our lunges. So good again for that uphill work. We're going to do our 90-degree lunges. So really thinking about our position. So our first one, just kind of check in. Stepping forward, knee comes down. So I've gone a little bit short, so next time I need to step further forward because it's this top leg, I want to be in 90. You can tap the floor or come down, and don't judge how far you're going. This is the first time you've done this class, and as you come back, but our body changes and it's not linear, so don't judge yourself too much. We are going to alternate, come back up. And you might find at the beginning you're really having to push yourself back up. and that's okay. And if you're anything like me with tight quads, you'll be feeling this like I am. Again, you can use your arms for balance. And we have 4, 3, 2, last one, we're staying down. Checking with that position, that your legs really in that 90 degrees. Tap the pelvis under. You might already be feeling a quad stretch like me, and you might not. You might have loosey-goosey hip flexors, and you're going to come forward and really deepen that stretch. Now, we're not just working on the quad, we're also working on lengthening through the Achilles. You might want to put more weight through this leg, or even take the hands down. I do want you to keep a straighter back for this, so really be mindful of that. Gorgeous big breath in, and then gently coming back, we're going to take this other leg forward, flex the foot. Ooh. Again, all wobbles are good. And again, keeping that back nice and straight, and hamstring stretch. Maybe calves as well. Breathing into it. And then gently coming back up, stepping the leg in. We're going to twist towards the thigh, coming forward, taking the hand on, reaching the opposite side back, opening the back. Also those obliques that really come into our walking. Big breath in here, and then breath out, other side, really reaching. You're not going to press too much into that forward leg, you're going to really reach the arm back. Take your eyes to it, open the body. You might get a really nice inner quad stretch. We're thinking of all the planes of movement here, stepping the leg back. Again, finding that pelvic neutral. Roll those shoulders back, breath in, big stretch up. Releasing one arm, reaching up and over, opening the side body. Breath in here. Breath out, other side. I'm going to send the breath into the rib cage. Gorgeous. And then stepping that opposite leg forward. Again, find that pelvic neutral. I know I keep whining on about it, but every time we find it, we're training our body. And then coming into the hip flexor opener. Maybe putting weight on that front leg if it feels comfy, or coming down. This is, for me, an Achilles stretch and a hip flexor opener. You know, it could be in your shins, it could be anywhere, but taking your breath to that place. And then coming up, taking that front leg forward, flexing the foot, forward folding over it. Ooh, right side's tighter on the hamstrings for me. Breathe. And you can always pause the video if you want to take more stretch. And then big breath in, use that center strength, coming up, stepping the leg back, and then turning towards the leg, pressing your hand into it, keeping it firm, and really reaching away with the other side. And then coming back through, hand on the other side, reaching the arm back. Breathe into it. And then gently returning, well done. Both knees coming down. We're going to come to the end of our mat. Feet are going to be grounded. You're going to find a tall seated position, making sure the knees are in parallel, arms come forwards. We're going to sit up lovely and tall, and then C-curve back to that place where you find that biting point. You'll feel your abdominals, and then you'll come forwards. Nice. And then again, really sit up tall. And then C-curving back. Breathing out as you sit back up, if you want to do the breath. Nice. Maybe coming that little bit further, finding a little bit more center. Coming back up. And then you're going to come over towards the left-hand side and come back down. So you'll feel this down the right side of your abdominals. And it's like you've got a ball in between the hands. Really breathe. My right abs are shaking, just so you know, right there with you. And then sit back up. And then take the ball through center, over to the right hand side again, rounding the spine. Feeling this in the left side body, maybe even the right as well. Feeling it everywhere, potentially. And the legs are working hard to stay grounded. One more here. Nice. Then you're going to stay in the twist, and you're going to twist to the left, to the right. Good. Left, right. Two more left, right. Come back to center. Sit up tall one more time. If you want to do level one, keep the knees bended. If you want to make this a little bit harder, straighten the legs, sit up tall, round the spine, coming all the way back down to the mat. Big reach, fingertips overhead, toes, and then starfish, take up space. How often do you do this? And then you're going to hug in the knees. Amazing. So one hand on one knee, one hand on the other, and then generous big circles. This is really nice for the lower back and the hip flexors. And then hug in the knees. Really just hold this position, close down the eyes if it feels good for you. And just really let the lower back sink into the mat. Gently returning one leg at a time to support the back. And hands on hip bones. Draw the pelvis towards us and away from us. Gorgeous. Just like we did in standing, but the feedback of the mat gives this gorgeous massage. And then hands come down by our sides, and we're going to do my favourite Pilates exercise ever. We are going to, again, like we just did, tuck the pelvis towards us. Pressing the lower back into the mat, lifting up, using the hamstrings and the glutes, coming into our bridge. I want your bridge to be a nice ski slope kind of line. So we're not pushing up here, we're in that ski slope position. You should really be feeling the glutes. If the glutes aren't switched on here, take your hands to them, tell them switch on, breath in at the top, and breath out. Peel down, really tuck the bottom under to get the lower back on the mat, and return. Gorgeous. We're going to do two more just like that. Breathing out to push up, bone by bone. Really feel like you're even with the glutes. This is where you can maybe feel like even at the top is one hip bone higher than the other. It might be one glute's working a little bit harder. So try to even that up. Breath in at the top, breathing down. Nice. One more. This time we're going to take the arms overhead once we're at the top. So coming up to the top, arms overhead, breath in here, and then breath out, peeling down, bone by bone, really tucking that pelvis under the lower back stretch. Oh, I can feel that in the glutes and the hamstrings. Good work. And then reaching through those fingertips, and then we're going to take the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers into our mini ab press. So we'll do our most basic one first. Basic doesn't mean easy. If you're doing this right, you'll really feel it. So breathing out, we're lifting our shoulder blades off the mat, looking at our knees, and then coming back down again. So none of this is coming from the neck. It's all coming from the upper back. And even though I've been doing this for more than 20 years, I still get vibrations in my core every single time when I'm doing it with intention. Good. We're going to do 4 more of these, using the out breath as you come up, in breath as you come down. And then last one, coming up, gently popping the mat down, take the elbows wide. You might get a pec stretch, you might not, it's just like a nice chill moment. And then we're going to add to it, coming up, reaching the right arm to the outside of the left leg, back to center, other side. So this is really targeting those obliques, which work hard, harder than we probably realise when we're walking. Lovely, and 2, and last one, hold and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good. Hand back behind the head, and 3, or 5 actually, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, return back down. Gorgeous. So we're going to come into our next exercise, which is our sort of finisher before we come into a little bit of stretching. So either to make it a little bit harder, you can have the hands behind the head, or have those hands beside you, really pressing into the mat and grounding. You're going to lift your left leg to tabletop, and then your right, your tailbone is going to stay glued to the mat. Your core will be engaged, and you're going to tap your right toe towards the mat, might touch, might not, and then your left. So this is lower abdominals and obliques. Coming back up. Don't cheat by bending the knee like this, complete cheat. And if I could see you doing that, I would call you out. So imagine I'm there. Keep those knees solid. Good. And we have 4, 3, 2, last one. Nice. Hugging in those knees. Big breath in, big breath out. Maybe rotating those ankles. I love a little stretch moment, being a moment for the body. And then hands back. I'm going to now bring them here because I'm adding to it. I'm going to do this with a straight leg, flex feet. So I've got a soft bend in my knees because my hamstrings are tight. And you might not come all the way down. Just find your limit. I want you to focus on the core. For me, I can feel this. Hamstrings, core, full body. This is our finisher. You can do it. 4. Take your time as well. Imagine you're moving through honey. And last one. Good work. Hugging those knees. Well done. Rock side to side. Awesome. Popping the right leg down into your supported position. Left leg comes into hamstring stretch. Flex and point the foot. flex the foot, straighten the opposite leg, and just holding in that hamstring stretch. Pressing the heel into the ceiling. And then bending the other leg. Popping that one across. And then interlacing the fingers onto the other leg. You could always do this with a band as well, or pop a pillow behind the head. Gorgeous. Really stretching the outside of that left glute. Maybe rocking side to side, finding a little bit more depth in the stretch. And then gently releasing the leg. Hugging in that left knee, other leg comes out, and then taking it across your body. This is such a gorgeous stretch. Opposite arm comes out, eyes to the hand. This might be under the armpit, down the side body, in the glute. If it feels a little too much, you can always lower that arm, or just have the stretch in your lower body. Find what feels good for you. Closing down the eyes. And then hugging in the knee. Tight to the body. And then releasing that knee. Lifting up the left leg, or right leg, lifting up the right leg. Up into your hamstring stretch. Point and flex. And then really flex it, straightening the other leg, keeping that tailbone grounded. And then bending the other knee, sending the right leg across it. You can just stay here if that already feels like a hip opener glute stretch, or threading the needle through the opposite leg. Closing down the eyes again, if that feels good. Rocking side to side. And then gently releasing the leg. Hugging in the right knee, sending the left leg out straight. Taking that right leg across the body. Arm to the other side. And then breathing out, gently coming back to center, hugging in both the knees, hands behind the legs, and then rocking up to center, coming into a seated position. Doesn't matter what that looks like. Sitting nice and tall, and then we're very gently going to circle in one direction, opening the hips, the back. Let yourself move forward, around the back. It's so important that we move in these spiral lines. And then other side, it's so good for the spine, the body. I think when we're walking, we're going in such a forward motion that it's really good to remember going side to side, going to back. And then just coming back to center, sitting nice and tall. Hands on the body wherever it feels good for you. Closing down the eyes for our closing breath. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. 2 more. And then take your biggest, most generous breath of your day so far. Big, big breath in. And a big sigh out. And you're done for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this walking prep for our Mare and Foal Snowdon trek in August. If you've liked this video, I would really appreciate a small donation to my walking. That would be so lovely and kind, and I'd love to hear in the comments how you found the practice, and see you on the mat again. This is the kind of class that you can do time and time again, so really take time for yourself and your body as well as your walking practice, and see you soon.